We got a new trailer for the Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet DLC, and there's a lot to speculate about, and not enough time since the Teal Mask will be here in less than a month. So let's start with one thing that was heavily implied on that first part of the new trailer, and that straight up made me question the whole thing right from the first time I watched it. So hey, I'm not so ace trainer, and what about Kieran? Let's get into it. Kieran is Carmine's brother, and both of them not only study in the Blueberry Academy, which we will visit in the second part of the DLC, the Indigo Disc, but they're also from Kitakami, where we will be in the first part of the DLC, the Teal Mask. Kieran always seemed like he would be an important character, especially from the way he was hiding behind Carmine. There was a lot of mystery to him, and I always theorized he would have something to do with the baby turtle that we now know is actually just Terapagos. But after this last trailer, I have completely changed my point of view. The trailer shows us becoming closer and closer to Kieran, and he seems to be very happy that we are becoming friends, but it quickly turns sour when we also get close to Carmine. This is not only shown with the actions that Kieran takes, the clenching of the fist after losing to us, the way he was looking at us in a sneaky way as he was leaving, but he also said it himself in this particular scene. He is becoming overwhelmed with jealousy. And interestingly enough, it becomes absent for many scenes after that, particularly when we and Carmine are interacting with the Loyal 3. As we know, the Loyal 3 were the Pokémon that saved Kitakami from the Ogre or Ogerpon according to its folktales. They are loosely based on the Momotaro folktale, but here is where some problems show up. While this tale is likely based on the Momotaro folktale, considering how we have a dog, a pheasant, a monkey and an ogre, it is also likely based on the Kibitohiko no Mikoto tale, since we also have a brother and a sister, with the brother appearing to have become closer to the ogre. This tale is the one that led to the Momotaro folktale, by the way. So we are seeing a mix of folktales that serve as the inspiration for this particular story in the Pokemon world. And after this last trailer, I think there's another one to add to the mix. The Shutendoji is an Oni from Japanese folklore, and one of the most popular versions of this story is how it was born as a human child that, due to a physical deformity that made him appear monstrous, suffered from rejection by society. This caused him to have his anger and bitterness intensified as he grew older, until eventually he became an Oni known as a Shutendoji, with various powers, one of them being the power to shapeshift, for example, and who also loved sake a lot, hence the name the Drunken Demon. Ultimately, the tale of the Shutendoji is a tale about the consequences of one's choices and the transformative powers of negative emotions. And if there's one thing that this trailer shows us that Kieran clearly has, those are negative emotions. I think the story of the Shutendoji will be, in a way, adapted and transformed in order to fit the Pokemon world. Kieran is a boy that doesn't have many friends, at least apparently. He is shy and becoming our friend means a lot to him, but because he also doesn't have many friends, he maybe doesn't know how to deal with sharing a friend that well. And so, when he sees us becoming close to his sister, his negative emotions become a target for Ogerpon. An interesting fact pointed by the Sargi boy in a previous video of mine was that since Ogerpon only shows up during the night, could Kieran's dreams or negative dreams be powering up the mask or even Ogerpon? Since the mask is connected to the terrestrial phenomenon that I believe is connected to dreams becoming real, this is one of the ways that Ogerpon could be feeding off of negative emotions, for example. Either way, keeping up with the Shutendoji tale, Ogerpon is likely the Pokemon that was seen as monstrous and became rejected by those around it. The embracing of this monstrosity was likely the acceptance of the mask and the reason why we haven't yet seen it without it. And maybe why the trailer ends with it falling off. That is the moment of acceptance, the moment we accept Ogerpon. But before that happens, Kieran and Ogerpon will likely meet, with the ogre actually using the boy's negative emotions to feed itself, to feed its power, maybe intensifying them and making them a lot stronger, or with a little bit of the tinfoil hat thing, maybe turning itself into the boy using its shape-shifting powers, or at least according to the Shutendoji tale, and using that to actually attack us. My reasoning behind this is a bit based on the changes in Kieran throughout the trailer, and from the fact that we see him bite that apple. The focus it got makes it seem like it is an important part of the plot, or at least relevant. So, remember when I said that the Shutendoji was known as the Drunken Demon because of how much it loved sake? I think a similar thing will happen here, though this time it will have something to do with apples. The same way the Shutendoji raided nearby villages to get things like sake, I think Ogerpon did the same thing but in order to get apples. And when we see Kieran biting that apple right there, we're either seeing Kieran under the control of Ogerpon or we are seeing Ogerpon's ability to shapeshift. I wouldn't be surprised if Kieran actually does not like apples at all, and that will be a key element into identifying this situation. This will likely be very important plot-wise, since when the Shutendoji was defeated by Minamoto no Raiko, it was because they disguised themselves as monks offering sake in order to get to him. And I think that apples will likely play the same role in getting us into Oni Mountain, or at least helping us reach that final battle against the ogre. But Minamoto did not go alone, he had friends with him, and so we'll have to tap into another folktale, and that's the one from the beginning of the whole speculation for the Teal Mask, the Momotaro folktale, where Hokidogi, Pheasantipiti, and Monkidori will join forces with us. In the end, I believe that we'll all be friends, and we'll likely catch Ogerpon. I mean, it's a Pokemon game after all. We'll live to make sure any folktale that exists cannot be repeated ever again. But this adventure will be what makes Kieran come out of his shell, and since technically the adventure in the Teal Mask can happen right when you start the Scarlet and Violet main games, give him time to become stronger and believe in himself in order to get to his role in the Blueberry Academy. A role that will make it so we have to face each other once again, the role of the BB League champion. And that is all I have for you today. I am so hyped for this DLC after those trailers, but what about you? What do you believe will be Kieran's role in the Teal Mask? Let me know in the comments down below. And now, like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Pokemon content, and also ring the bell so you know when the next video is out. You can follow me on social media and Twitch. I stream there Wednesday to Sunday, not Saturday, or in our Discord. All the links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.